How is it possible that we've already reached the penultimate episode of Outlander's 6th season? It's come around pretty quickly, and it seems we're finally reaching the climax of this season's biggest storyline in sticks and stones that's likely to leave us with more questions than answers. However, let's not get ahead of ourselves. First, let's deal with the matters at hand. Malva, Jessica Reynolds, is dead, you'll remember, having had her throat slit and her body dumped in a field outside Claire, Caitriona Balfe, and Jamie's, Sam Heughan, house. In the opening scenes of this week's episode, we get a flashback of Malva's impassioned speech to members of the community in which she insists that the devil came to her in the form of a man and seduced her and stole her innocence. We know that's total baloney, of course, but it hardly matters now that she's gone. In the present, Tom Christie, Mark Lewis-Jones, and Allan, Alexander Vlahos, arrive at Fraser's Ridge after learning what's become of Malva. Both men seem to think it's pretty fishy that Claire didn't see anyone or anything from inside the house, but then they don't know she was knocked out cold thanks to her ether. Anyone who's read the books here knows who the real culprit is here, but it's also not hard to tell who's going to get the blame for Malva's death initially. Of course, Claire already blames herself. After all, had she not been unconscious, she may have seen the murderer approach Malva and may have been able to save her life or at least identify the suspect. As it is, she blames herself. So does the rest of the community, of course, who already saw Claire as tainted due to Jamie supposedly impregnating Malva and then refusing to marry her in the first place. Kinda makes you glad to live in a time with paternity tests, don't you think? This could have been quashed pretty much immediately. The B-plot for this episode involves our dear sweet Lizzie, Caitlyn O'Ryan, who seems to be going missing quite a lot. When she does turn up, she's got sticks caught in her hair. Could she be busy getting it on with Josiah, Paul Gorman, and or Keziah Beardley? Spoiler alert, both of them. We'll get to that more later. Back to Claire, whose season-long descent into PTSD-laced madness is finally coming to a head. She finally comes clean to Jamie about the fact that she's been using ether to escape the voices and visions she has of Lionel Brown, hallucinations of whom have become so frequent that he barely seems to leave her.